1.
Here we go.
Welcome to Sorare in the States Football. Here are your hosts, the Taco Slayer Jorge, and MLS Card Guy Chris.
And we're back with another episode of Somewhere in the States. Let me tell you, Europe is back. Feels like my lineups are dead, but we don't care because the MLS rules. Listen, the Open Cup final is set. I think we all kind of knew where that was going. And something else that we learned is you don't ever cross the MLS card guy, because last week, if you were paying attention on the show, he said, Portland, blow it up. It's time to blow it up. And as soon as we stopped recording, 30 minutes later, we got the news. Gio Savarese has gotten the boot in Portland. MLS card guy, do you care to comment?
Please make all checks payable to @MLS Card Guy on Twitter. I'll take donations in the form of ETH or fiat. Thank you.
And will you be assigning the next head coach?
It will be me, actually. Breaking news.
Great. So they got worse. Incredible.
Yep, they got ridiculously worse.
Oh Lord, how
Yikes.
did you become a man of so much power? How did you know?
I don't know, dude. You just sometimes you don't watch something for 3 months and you get a feeling, you know?
I got a feeling.
It's like when your twin is across the world and gets hurt and you're like, oh, I know they got hurt.
So your spidey sense was tingling.
My Timby's sense was tingling.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vroom vroom, rev that chainsaw. Either way, MLS.
Timber Joey should be the new coach. That'd be fun.
Ooh, hey,
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Hey,
all
one
the
of the
balls
most
would end
electric.
up flat because they just cut them all.
All
with
right,
chainsaws.
Just like that joke fell flat. All right, moving on.
Wow.
Anyway, MLS Chaos ensued as always. We had Open Cup, we had midweek games canceled because of hurricanes. We had all the chaos itself. But first, real quick, as a reminder, we have a new competition coming to So Rare over here in Game Week 403, which is this Friday. If you're listening to this episode as it's released, we have month-long competitions. All-Star, you put in All-Star 8 weeks. 4 of those weeks will be counted. Highest scores. Chris, will you be focusing on this All-Star long-form competition?
Yes. Short answer, yes.
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 Are you going to be going out of your way to like focus on it? Or are you going to like maybe focus on week 1, see where you go? Like,
yeah, I think that's probably the play, right? Like, I mean, I'm still going to go U23 is still going to be my best lineup. Right. Just because that's what my gallery is supposed to do. But everybody else is probably going All-Star after that. Like Mbappe is probably going All-Star. I don't know. Might be stupid, but I want that the $3 for whatever the last place is or whatever.
Dude,
can't pass it up.
They're giving out cash. They're giving out
money.
Star rewards. They're giving out limiteds. They're giving out rares. It's going to be a good time. I hope that because it's the shiny new thing, everyone's going to focus on it.
True.
Everyone's going to want to prove their very best. And guess what? Everything else is going to
go
be
down.
very easy. Because guess what? I alluded to it, and I'm struggling. I'm hitting some big points, but I'm just not getting it done with the rewards. So you know what? Everybody go focus on All-Star. Have your fun. Leave. I will gladly pick up the scraps in all the other divisions, hopefully. Or everybody else just has super overpowered cards at this point, and I'm still gonna lose. But
yeah,
I think
that's how it is.
I'm missing the summer dominance a little bit. Leagues Cup kind of skewed it. I was on a roll. I'm not gonna lie. I was winning some rewards. I was in the groove. I was feeling nice, and then I've just had some stinker of game weeks, man. It's just I'm struggling. How's that department treating you? Is it?
I mean, I don't feel like I'm having stinker game weeks. Like I'm putting up 380 points and like doing like I feel like pretty well, but doesn't really do anything for me. Like I had 375 in Champ Euro and still missed a reward. It's like, wow, that's insane. And I think this was just like a wild game week. There were just a lot of people that just put up ridiculous scores, which happens. But man, like that was tough to watch. I had a bunch of people put up like hundreds. A bunch.
Really?
Yeah. I had four or five that put up 100 in the lineup. And I win one tier 3 limited card. That's it.
I had one of those game weeks where I had 4 like decent scores and then just one like a really stinker. Like just like
Yeah.
not even like a oh you tried buddy, like a oh did you even show up? Just like 30s. Just killing
That
my
was my
lineups.
Champ Euro. My Champ Euro
Ugh.
scored 375. Ter Stegen gave up 3 goals and got a 19. It was like, yo, with 3 scores 70 plus, 2 scores 85 plus, and that team doesn't matter. No reward for you.
I'm
Live with it.
not having fun anymore, Grandpa. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Grandpa, make everybody else sit their cards so it's easier.
It almost makes me I don't know, I didn't even have this written down, but we're going here now. I'm almost at the point where I almost want to take a step back on focusing from SO5 a little bit and then just kind of trading a little bit more. Like maybe focusing on trading, kind of focusing on maybe trying to sneak some plays in, especially heading towards the playoff, maybe scooping a couple guys that I think might kind of have their moment in the playoffs, maybe get a little sympathy pump. But I don't know. I just don't know where to go in SO5 right now. Like I'm stuck. Like I don't really want to focus on America because the return isn't really there. Like I could just go out and buy whoever I want at this point because prices are so cheap. And then I go play everywhere else and I'm just getting dominated by Europe. So it's like, what I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in
Go
a
play some baseball, baby. I still have not had a week where I have not gotten a reward in baseball. Not a single game week. I've gotten something every single game week. There's been like 40 of them this year.
As I am selling up baseball. You heard it here first publicly. I am selling baseball. I have a lot of year 1 cards. So if you guys are shopping for the market, check out my gallery. I got dude, I got a Cody Bellinger up there, you know.
Ooh.
You know, just yeah. I know it's a hot product right now. We'll see. Shoot me offers. Shoot me limited offers before Chris, the MLS card guy. But this is the football show. But yeah, I think I'm gonna, because it's towards the end of the year, I think I'm gonna sell out baseball because I'm kind of okay in profit, and I don't really care. And I think I'm gonna buy some more soccer rares, kind of boost my rare collection for next season. I'm already looking forward to next season. That transition from limited to rare for next season, and then basketball's around the corner too, so might be picking up a few rares here and there. Been doing that in the off season too, and nobody's talking about it. Like everybody kind of went back to the market because of the draft and the whole Wemby thing, and then nobody cares anymore. So I'm gonna try to swoop in there at some low prices and get some deals.
That's what I've been considering is basketball.
Yeah,
my two. I have a bunch of ETH right now, a bunch of cash. I guess those aren't the same things anymore, huh?
It's really not.
I guess I gotta like actually separate. But anyway, I have a bunch of cash right now, and I'm like, well, what do I do with it? I don't really need to strengthen anything in football. I don't really want to play rares because I feel like I'd only get like a couple decent rares with what I have. Right. The options I'm kind of leaning towards are either buy like a whole collection of new season cards when they come out, like a whole team, and just get a big stack going. Maybe for like a challenger team or like a Division 2 European team. Or I might go NBA. I don't like NBA. I don't want to play NBA.
It's so fun.
But
it's so good.
That's the thing. I can't keep up with it. I can't watch. I can't like pay attention to the games and know who's like gonna get minutes because somebody's out. Like that's the whole game in NBA.
That's why you'll have the Sorare in the States basketball show coming soon. Hey, dropping that.
Can you just set my lineup for me?
Yeah, sure, bro. Sign up to my
Patreon.
Yeah, sign up to my Patreon. I'll set your lineups every week. Or what's that new thing in the crypto world? Friend Tech, or some whatever new Ponzi scheme is hitting the crypto world right now. Friend Tech.
Buy my Ponzi schemes.
buy my coin so that I can set your lineups in NBA. That'll go over really well. But anyway, what are we doing? We're just rambling. Let's get into it.
So much Sorare in the States has already happened.
It's just look.
We wonder why we don't have any time in this show.
We just complain that there's too many MLS games. We can't cover them all, but we just ramp. But this is Sorare in the States. We got the Sorare. Now we're heading in the States because Chris, the Open Cup final is set. The Houston Dynamo, most massive club in the MLS.
Fighting Ben Olsen.
The fighting Ben Olsens have done it, even though you've doubted them since day one.
they'll lose in the final for sure.
No, they're not. What? Dude, they're going up against Miami. Okay?
Even if they weren't going up
Come
against
on.
Miami, they were going to lose in the final. Like, if we had beaten Cincinnati and then beaten Miami, which I know is a little far-fetched, but if that had happened, we would have beaten Houston in the final. 100%, no doubt in my mind.
I am so happy that Houston right now, like, give Houston credit. I know we've been kind of hyping them up a little bit, but they are just continuing to do it. Like, I think everyone's waiting for that back to reality Houston. Like, okay, like Houston, you're not that good, but they are just flying. They are continuing to do it. They don't care who it is, continuing to put the ball in the back of the net. Karasky is having a season. Corey Baird is apparently the greatest striker in the MLS right now. And of course, Hector Herrera, as always. But can we talk about real quick the semifinals where Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Everybody thought the tweets were already sent out. Everybody had egg on their face because Cincinnati was the team. They were doing it. They are dominating the standings. They are dominating the Supporters Shield race, and they were going to take down the GOAT.
I don't know if anybody thought that.
Dude,
everyone I heard was like, well, Miami's already in the final. I was like, you're going on the road to a team in Cincinnati that's only lost like 2 games this year, and all of them have been away. Like, they haven't lost any games at home. They've only even drawn 1 game at home so far this year. And Miami was just like, haha, hold my beer, bro.
Dude.
And Messi was like, yeah, I got this. I need to point this out, despite being dominated for most of that game. Like, Cincinnati should have put 2 or 3 chances away when they were ahead. And didn't. And then they got messied all over their face.
And like, it sucks because I feel like they didn't necessarily do the wrong thing. Because you're up 2-0. You've been dominating the game. They took out all their, starters. They brought in the subs. They were going to close. All they had to do was close out the game.
They did take out their starters at 2-1 and not 2-0, which I thought was a mistake. Because I'm like, you got that dude on the other side. You're only up a goal. Like, what are the odds he scores 1, or in this case, assists 1? As it turns out, the odds were pretty high.
And dude, what a game! Just the way it happened. I feel like we all knew it was coming, but for a split second, we all thought Cincinnati had done it and had dethroned the team when it mattered, and they're not. So, Chris, I hate that I have to ask you this, but is Miami winning? Okay. No, not even the playoffs. All right. Will they win their second trophy? Will they win the Open Cup?
Unless they sell Messi before the final, I think they're okay. I think they can squeeze it out. Although, if there's one guy that can stop Lionel Messi, it is probably Ben Olsen. You want to know the fun part? They've actually played against each other.
Really?
I'm pretty sure Ben Olsen played a national team game against Argentina when he was with the U.S.
That's incredible.
And Messi was already on the Argentine national team. And I'm pretty sure they've actually played on the same field. Because when he was coach at DC when I worked at DC.
Right.
And he came to like talk to a bunch of the academy kids. And he was like, yeah, I've played with both Messi and Ronaldo. And I was like, that's crazy. So yeah, this dude that's been a coach for 15 years has played on the same field as Lionel Messi, which is insane.
That would be like perfect, like MLS Chaos. So like Miami just doing it all, stealing all the headlines, and along comes Houston and the Ben Olsens, and all of a sudden they are the team that no one expected to just dethrone Miami. It would be incredible.
I mean, Ben Olsen is the quintessential MLS Chaos guy. Like, if he's ever the favorite, they're guaranteed to lose. If they're the underdog, it's going to be a good game. So, yeah, I mean, I think it actually will be like somewhat close. I don't think Houston is. I don't think they're going to get just blown away. The game's in Miami, though, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and they're not moving it to Hard Rock.
1-2 games away from home this year. So
yes, and it's
take of that what you will. But Miami's only won 4 games at home this year in the MLS. So, I saw a stat. Miami had played 29 games before Messi got there.
Yep,
and they'd racked up like 5 wins or something like that. No, I think it was like 8 wins in all competitions and like 27 goals. In the 9 games since Messi's got there, they've got 6 wins and like 26 goals. It's like they literally did more in the last 9 games since he's been there than they had in the entire season before that.
Yeah, I mean it's Houston's hot right now. I think they'll be okay. They're gonna fade. They'll probably get messy.
But it's not for another month, though. That's the
I
thing.
know. And that's the thing. Like you're starting to see it, and we'll kind of go into it too. That Miami's getting tired.
Yeah, they
and
are. They were gassed.
They were so gassed.
They almost
And
let it back in because they were so gassed.
Yeah, and I mean it's the reality, and there's schedule congestion towards the end. They have to win out. Messi has to go out for international duty because, of course, he's going to get called up for Argentina, so they're going to miss him. But they came out against the Red Bulls, who is peak MLS Chaos as well.
True.
Without Messi,
big game.
Got it. Big game without Messi, and still couldn't get it done. And Messi came in off the bench, and guess what?
Of course he did.
Still scored. He doesn't need to start. Messi does not need to start.
So this actually leads me directly into my point. Before I make my point, can we say how big that game was for Miami? They had to get 3 points in that game. New York is one of the teams chasing that last playoff spot, and if they had lost that game, Miami would have basically been out already. However, I was like, yeah, Miami's played a ton of games. Messi's 38. They're going to rest him. He's done a lot of travel. This is New York. I think he's going to sit in this game. So I went to my common team and I was like, I'm going to sit Messi because I don't think he's going to actually play. And then I was like, oh yeah, I have no backups because I've got like Christian Roldan and Holiday who's still coming back from injury. So we've got some like underpriced guys, but they're not playing yet, so I can't start them, and you can only have 8 guys. So I couldn't actually sit Messi, but I didn't captain him. I captained
there you go.
Torres, who did do better. But Messi
go.
Still ended up with a goal, which still kind of saved my team. So yeah, I big brained it all over the place, but it still didn't work.
Dude, Messi is inevitable. The fact that, like, dude, I'm the last person that wants to talk about this man, and yet I have to continuously talk about it because he keeps getting it done. The Red Bulls.
I'm going to ask you this every week. Will Miami make the playoffs?
No.
Still no.
I do not think they could do it. For one, like, just full homer, they have to play Orlando at home. They're salty. They're mad.
God.
All right. I'm just saying, that's one L right there. They have to go to LAFC. They have a pretty tough schedule, okay? They're
11 points back with 11 to go.
I don't know, man. They're gonna miss Messi for a few games. I think we said it last week where they're not just like dominating these games. They had to come back in a late winner against Cincy. Like this one without Messi, like sure, but I mean it's the Red Bulls. You never know what you're gonna get. But like there's been a lot of these games that are really close and it comes into the wire. Like how many times are they just gonna clutch it? And it's just so statistically just unlikely.
To be fair, of the 8 games that they played before this Red Bulls game, they had drawn 3 of them. It's like draws aren't gonna really help you. Draws are losses at this point. So
yeah, and they could probably afford what, like 1 or 2 draws, if that. And like I think they can only afford to lose 3. I think
it kind of depends on how everybody else plays. Like they really need Charlotte to kind of fall off. Charlotte has a bunch of games in hand. Everybody else is kind of in that pack, so you're kind of just hoping that everybody stumbles a little bit down the stretch. It's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible.
But like you just said, I don't like you talking down about Charlotte like that because Charlotte came out and said, "Wait, you think you're coming to Bank of America and you're going to beat us, LAFC?" I don't
LAFC
think so. Who? Which granted, LAFC a little bit of schedule congestion. They had some unfortunate games moved around, and again, just like everything else, it kind of quick turnaround and it backfired. Which Charlotte can be a dynamic team sometimes,
especially at home.
I've been in that place. That place gets rocking, and LAFC just it was a late winner. What can you do sometimes?
You're flying across the country,
Yeah, you're flying across the country. Sometimes it just doesn't fall for you, and it didn't fall for them that day. LAFC, you love Aaron Long. Are they? What's wrong with LAFC right now? Do you think it's just schedule congestion, just travel, or is there something bigger afoot? Or is Charlotte just actually gonna? Are they gonna fight here at the end of the year?
There's nothing wrong with them. They're in second. Like What are we
bro.
talking about?
Bro, I gotta ask. I
There's
gotta ask the
nothing
questions.
wrong with them.
I gotta ask the
It's
questions.
just like Seattle.
Right?
You're like,
just
Seattle's dead. They're
Okay.
third. They're third.
Dude, don't even get me started on Seattle because I watched the Seattle game very closely against Minnesota, and it is terrible.
No
terrible.
Christian Roldan. He's
It doesn't
so
matter.
important. It does matter. He's so important to everything they do.
Bro,
When
it
he
doesn't
comes
matter.
back, they'll get hot. I'm calling my shot right now. When Christian Roldan comes back, which he's already back in training, when he gets back on the field, Seattle's going on a run. This is Seattle time. This is the time of the year.
I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening.
We'll see.
It is so like you just watch. If you watch Seattle, it is just like they don't move off the ball. They don't make runs anymore. If you look at, they just ping the ball side to side, and they're like, "Oh, this didn't work. All right, let's go back to the right." And they're like, "Oh, this didn't work. Let's go back."
You know
to the
who
left.
does
and,
make runs off the ball?
And guess who?
Christian Roldan.
Okay, so does
That's
Jordan
why
Morris.
he's so important.
Yeah, so does Jordan Morris, and guess what? He gets down the touchline and then
Jordan
goes
Morris
and then turns
doesn't
around and then
he doesn't
passes
make
it back.
good runs. He makes runs, but he doesn't make good runs. Christian Roldan unlocks all the space in that team.
Seattle is in their just pass it back and recycle phase, and there's just I think it's time. I don't know. I think it's time. I'm over it. I tried. I literally tried. I went in with an open mind. I was like, okay, look, I've been tough on Seattle. We're gonna go. And even dude, okay, first of all,
I
Minnesota,
will say Seattle is 5 points away from being out of the playoffs right now.
I'm just saying, I think they're gonna slip. I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like what I saw. That's all I'm saying. I didn't like
The
what I saw.
Western Conference
Red flags.
is wild.
Yes.
Wild, man. Like the top 10 teams are separated by 8 points. And if you take 2 through 10, it's only 12 points. And if you take 2 through 10, it's only 8 points. That's crazy. And
it's starting to flip because you're starting to notice that the teams that got hot in the beginning are starting to fall off and the other teams are rising. And it's almost like the entire conference is just going to flip lopsided, especially because like RSL, since Pablo Ruiz went out, rest in peace, RSL, who just took the L to Houston back to back. Like not even close. Not even
3-0.
Bro, you had 2 shots to beat this Houston team, and you didn't show up for either of them. You were just like, you know what? No, it's fine.
And at home this time.
Yeah, it's the West is. Hey, you know who else took a loss in the West?
Portland.
Portland, which, dude, Portland. There's no new coach bump. A little bit. Evander concedes a penalty, turns around, and scores a goal, but it's still not enough.
Vancouver is just really good. The Fighting Vanny Sartinius are always really good.
Okay, same. Vancouver, another one of those teams that are questionable defensively, who like completely had a hold on this game and let Portland come back, even with all the turmoil. And Evander just continues to just disappoint with all those yellow cards and those reds and those stinkers of scores. What is going on? Do you all right? Is Portland going to get a new coach bump from this? Do you think you're the standings guy? You know them. Does Portland have a shot if they can kind of find a way? Can they find a way? And does Evander have to be that guy?
Evander has to be that guy for sure. He's got to he's got to say, "Come on, guys, get on my back. I'm gonna take you to the promised land." Will he do that? I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
He's too like, I don't know, some of the decisions he makes. Like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be the leader. Like, he loses his head. He just goes in for nasty tackles. Like, he just like, brother, like granted, concede a penalty, score a goal. It doesn't cancel it out because you're back to square one.
It equals out. It's fine.
Well, that's not the point. Okay,
it's fine.
That's not the point.
No, I don't think Portland comes back. They're 6 points back right now. And to be fair, there's a bunch of teams ahead of them. I mean, I guess only one of those teams would have to kind of drop off. Like if Austin or Dallas or Minnesota or Vancouver just like absolutely starts laying eggs. I mean, it's possible. It's not like Miami where like they need like 6 teams to fall off. Portland really just needs like 1 or 2. But I don't think it's happening. Portland doesn't have Messi.
No, but they have.
Who's more likely to make it, Portland or Miami?
Miami, duh.
Of course.
Dude, come on.
Despite the fact that they're 3 points further back. Or no, they're 5 points further back.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, would you take Evander or would you take Messi? I'm like, let's be real. Can we stop bringing up you purposely just bring Messi to just make me mad, don't you? You just love to do it, don't you? I'm gonna change the subject because
Talk about something else. Talk about
Yeah,
something else.
talk about something else. Talk about Nashville, who
Mm.
is poor Nashville. They crashed out. Well, I guess they didn't crash out. That's the wrong term. They didn't crash out. They showed up and fought Messi. They fought Messi with everything they had. They were so tired that they could not get it done against Atlanta. They just got thrashed by Atlanta 4-0.
They got booped.
You think this is just a blip, right? They
Yep.
got beat up. They were
Just a
tired. They
boop.
were like, look, Joe Willis comes back. Dude, talk about
Sometimes
the
you
goalkeeper
just get
situation.
Guzan. Sometimes you just get Guzan, you know?
Yeah, you know who got Guzan? Me, because I benched Guzan because I was like, I'm tired of this. Atlanta defense is crap. And then all of a sudden, he has like what, 2 clean sheets in a row now, 2 or 3? Like, come on now.
The bald head is working again. Don't hate.
Dude. Okay, first of all, let's put this out. You
Thiago
know what?
Almada is still here, guys. Like, before you say this, right? Thiago
Right.
Almada, the European transfer window is closing imminently.
Yep.
He is still not gone. How? Like, I'm shocked. To be completely 100% honest, I thought he would be 100% gone over the summer, and Atlanta still has him, and Atlanta's in a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think from the beginning of the season, we all said it. We were all like, no, there's no way. Like, he's gone in the summer. They're never going to keep him.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed him, I guess, right? Like,
I mean, of course they need him, but that doesn't mean you get to keep him. When someone comes along and offers you 30 million or something, maybe no one offered 30 million. Maybe they were just like, yeah, we'll take him for 15, and Atlanta's like, nah, we're good.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, what do they get out of, like, if they can keep him for now, why not keep him for now? Like, if there's no rush, if they're not getting the bid, they're obviously going to try to get money out of him because obviously he's a hot commodity. Like, just it is what it is. Just ride him out. If he's happy, if he's fine with staying, just keep him. Why not? You see.
Shocked.
Are you shocked?
I'm dumbfounded. I would have, if you had told me before the season started that he would still be here right now, I would have bought one preseason. I'd have bought 3 preseason.
Yeah,
I'd have bought 100 preseason. I thought for sure he'd be gone.
Yeah, that's so wild to me. There's so many. Oh, it's just like John McCarthy for me, where I was like, I saw them at the beginning of the season. I was like, Crepo will be back, and then it's like, okay, he's still playing.
Crepo was supposed to be back in April. We're in the end of August, and he's like just barely starting to sort of come back, be on the bench sometimes.
Yeah, I don't understand. It is what it is, though. You know what are boy
crazy scenes. This is only, by the way, the second time in Nashville team history that they've lost by more than 2 goals.
No, this is the first time they've lost 4 in a row. Period. Like
that too.
So it's the first time I think they've only lost 3-0 like twice or something. It was like some crazy stat, and like we've always said that, right?
4-1, but they've never lost another game by more than 2 goals in their entire history. They've been a thing since like 18 or 19, I think.
Well, that's what they were built on too. Like you think since Nashville came into the league, that's what they were known for. They were known for the defensive structure. Right. Didn't really have it in the attack. They had Hani Mukhtar who could get it done when he wanted to, but now they're starting to build that. And look, man, it's rough after the Open Cup, after losing like that.
That's who their next game is.
Who's their? Oh yeah, they go down to Miami, don't they? That. Oh my god,
sucks. That really sucks.
That's all, dude. That's awesome, man. It's still fresh. It still stings. Why not go down to Miami? Look, there was not much separating you in that final. For all we know, they had every right to win that game as much as Miami did. Dude, why not go down there, hand them their first loss at home, be like, good luck getting in the playoffs at home, in their face.
So
goodbye.
Miami eliminated Nashville from both the U.S. Open Cup and the Leagues Cup.
Did they really?
Yes, they beat them in the Open Cup too. So this would be like we win the battle, you win the war type of a thing.
I am
get them here.
I'm like oddly excited. I hate that like I'm excited to watch Miami matches. I'm like, oh, give me Nashville Miami like revenge game, please, all day long. It better be a great game. Y'all piqued my interest. All right, y'all gave me one good game. I need it replicated. I need it back. Give it to me. Give it to me, Chris. I need to ask you though, what happened to DC, buddy? Philly. Why?
So
Why does DC forget to
hold
play
on.
soccer against the Philadelphia Union?
This was actually going to be my point. In years past, and I'm talking about last year, Philly or
Right.
DC gives up 2-3 quick goals to Philadelphia
Sure.
and then just falls apart and loses like 6-7-0. This game, they give up 2 quick goals and they only lost 3-1. Like, I feel like that's actual progress. Now, to be fair, the goals they gave up were atrocious. Like, what is Derek Williams thinking? Being in his own corner and trying to like do a skill move to clear the ball away. Like, what on earth are you trying to do, guy?
Trying to get a new contract. That's what.
Trying to get a new contract in the USL, maybe. Like, what are you thinking?
Money's money. Money's money. Hey, what are you gonna do?
I don't know, man. That was a terrible one. But they didn't fall apart. They didn't capitulate. I texted you in like the 15th minute and it's 2-0. I'm like, here we go again. And we only lost. We did a 1-1 tie after that. It wasn't that bad.
Listen, when you have to go in, when you have to go in with the mindset it could have been worse, there's a few red flags. Red flags, including Tyler Miller. Chris, give me the story in Tyler Miller. All right.
Oh, poor
Is
Tyler Miller.
there a future for Tyler Miller? Should we be looking at Tyler Miller? Is there a world where next year we go, hey, maybe we could use some Tyler Miller in our lives? Is there that world, or is he a lost cause? Or is he on his way to the USL?
No, he's not. Who was the goalkeeper with Alex Bono in Toronto that kept going back and forth? That went to Atlanta? Westberg.
Ugh.
I think we're gonna change his name to Tyler Westberg Miller. Because is who he is now. He is the part-time halfway starter with Alex Bono for the rest of human history. Alex Bono is only allowed to start 60% of games max in his team season, but no more. He has to minimum start 30%. Like there is no like he's not a bench guy. He can't be on the bench. He's too valuable to be on the bench, but he's also not a starter. So they actually switched him at halftime.
Did they really?
They did, and I think it was maybe sort of Tyler Miller injury, but also the dude scored a 2.8. So yeah, it wasn't going well for him. He gave away a very bad penalty. But you know, he kind of got hurt, got subbed off, hurt, I guess. He had a goal kick and he just like winced, and he was like, "Take me out, coach. I'm done."
Can I also just point out that Juan just continues to just get it done in every way, shape, and form that he never got it done in Orlando?
He had an assist.
Juan go fast, man. I guess.
I love that Alex Bono had a 54 off the bench. Like the backup goalkeeper just racked up AA. It's wild.
Dude, because MLS is chaos and only for sickos, and that's DC the way.
Philly. Also, Glesnes had 2 clearances off the line in like a minute.
You know, guess who? Speaking of common lineups, we were talking about for our private league. If you're in that, go check the standings because 2 of us, two are in the top 10, baby. Let's go. But in my defense, it was between Glesnes and Elliott, and I went, Jack Elliott's a little bit better.
Yeah, he is.
Joke's on me because Glesnes is like, clearance on the line. Oh, let me get 2. I'll take 2, please.
Andre Blake had a shutout going, and freaking Ted Pietro ruined it. I was like, why? We're already down 3-0. Why do you have to screw my common team too?
Okay. Ridiculous. Wow. You bring up that goalkeeper, and I get it. Andre Blake, he loses the clean sheet very late, but I want to show you something if I could find it, because we have talked highly about this team, the Columbus Crew, with a goalkeeper assist.
Patrick Schulte.
And Patrick Schulte with an assist and the clean sheet. Patrick Schulte is that guy. I keep looking at him and I find reasons not to pick him up. And I am really regretting that decision because Patrick Schulte is getting it done. Columbus Crew getting it done. Diego Rossi coming in the starting lineup, scoring a goal. Julian Gressel continues to be great at Julian Gressel things. Toronto, still very bad. Poor Toronto.
They have Insigne and Bernadeschi, and they're like the worst team in the fucking league. Like, what the heck? How? Like,
and they had Bob Bradley, which is probably one of the greatest coaches in the MLS.
I don't understand this. Michael Bradley at center back is kind of embarrassing, though. Let's be fair.
Okay, I'll give him that. I will give him that.
I don't know, dude. Columbus is good.
Columbus is so good, and they are so fun to watch. And dude, Cucha Hernandez didn't even have to do anything in this game, and they got it.
He just watched. He's just standing there. If you guys go back to, we covered the 2021 MLS draft in great detail. Live picked everything. I think it's still on YouTube. Really? The guys that I was really high on from that draft were Kip Keller, Patrick Schulte, and Roman Celentano. And I feel like I've done like pretty decently with those guys.
Okay. All right. You've been big on Celentano. You love your goalkeepers, don't you?
Just from that class.
Just
that one class just had a lot of good college goalkeepers in it.
I do. I'm glad that we kind of brought this up and kind of stuck here on this game because I totally just remember that I saw it earlier. Toronto FC actually has a new coach. Do you know who that new coach is?
I do not.
It is John Herdman from the Canadian national team.
Good for them.
Yes, buddy. Does that excite you? Because that kind of excites me.
Oh, I don't know. National team to club is so different. I do think he's a really good coach, to be fair.
Right. Like, he did kind of turn around. He did turn that.
But he also had Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies, some really good players in that Canadian team. All right. So, yes, he turned it around.
Kamal Miller.
Yes, he had Kamal Miller. Will he be a success at club? I don't know. Because I kind of feel like Toronto is going to give him that backing. Which, obviously, the Canadian national team is completely broke, and it's super sad, and they can't even play games because they're so broke. So he will have more money in Toronto. I don't know. My gut says there's a really good move, but it also scares me a little bit to go from national to club coaching because it's.
But I mean, you got to think being in Toronto's situation, they splashed all this money around. It didn't go anywhere.
Yes.
Now
it went downhill.
It got worse. Michael Bradley is the center back. All right.
They could sell him for a bag of Doritos at this point and be making money.
They got rid of a bunch of pieces. They already cleaned house. Like you said, that transition is a little questionable, but they can't get any worse. So why not? He did it. He did it on the national scale. He did it for the Canadian team. He turned that team around. This team is bare bones. Do what you will with Bernadeschi or Insigne. They're probably, I don't know, John Herman can come in and be like, yo, what's up? You want to play or like get the heads up, get rid of him or not, and then just build it up. Give him some time. If Toronto gives him some time, it could be okay. And if not, well, you already suck anyway, so whatever, dude.
I do think it's better to go from national team to club than the other way around. So I don't know.
Why?
I hope it goes really well because club, you can buy players to fit your system. Some coaches can only really play like one system. And if they don't have the players at the national team level, it just doesn't work. So it can be great club coaches, but terrible national team coaches. Whereas the other way around, if you're good at like motivating players and getting players to play and adapting your system to fit the players, which is what it takes to be a good national team coach, typically that kind of translates over to the club game. So like, I feel like national team is harder than club.
It's more.
But it is different.
I mean, I can see that, and there's a lot of coaches that may kind of hint at that, which kind of makes me. I always think about Oscar Pareja. Like, say what you will, but I feel like he would be such a great like national team coach. And there's that conversation all the time where he's on a contract year. Like, yeah, he did great for this team. He got us to where it is, but like, great player coach, completely changed like the culture in the locker room. But like that's it. And we need more attacking prowess. Okay, our DPs don't work. We're only using one of them. So have him go coach a national team and give us a coach that can be a club coach. Because
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I know.
You might get stuck with Bob Bradley.
Or I can get his son Michael Bradley, who's
even worse. Just don't play any games anywhere near Trinidad and Tobago. None. Like you have to have a 500-mile radius around Trinidad that you cannot play any games in.
You literally just ruined our entire listener base. Like just PTSD, just all over. Just completely just shut it off.
All of our listeners are European. They don't care about what happens in U.S. national team qualifying.
That's true. They're like rolling on the floor laughing right now because the U.S. is a tragedy organization. Shout out Berhalter.
Whoa! Shout out Christian Pulisic for scoring twice.
Hey, Christian
for the first time in ever.
Flying.
Great job, Christian.
Right, great job. Yo, Pulisic and Giroud back on a team together again. My goodness.
It's a dream. Can Giroud be an American? Can we get him?
I wish.
He'd be a perfect number 9 for us.
Can we get Giroud to the MLS, please?
Can we transfer that? Can we make a transfer?
Just give me Giroud to the MLS. That's all I want. That's all I need.
On Toronto.
No. Listen. Back-to-back weeks. New York City FC. Still. Garbage. Tyus Magno. Still
Remember
on the
when
bench.
This team was good.
Maxi Morales came back.
Remember when this team won the MLS Cup 2 years ago?
No, because I can't read the banner from my seat.
Like
in Yankee Stadium.
What? This was a thing I said last year about coaching because coaching is so important in this league. It makes such a big difference if you have a good coach. NYC went from A+ coach to like D coach, and this is what you get. And to be fair, I sat Celentano because I'm an idiot. Because I was thinking, oh, New York City's good. But then I was like, oh, wait, it's not 2021. It's 2023.
No, like, yeah, you would normally think like, oh, NYCFC could go either way. Like, they love to score goals, whatever. But like, no, like right now, if you have players facing NYCFC, you load it up. You get those stats.
They scored 25 goals this year, 26 games.
That's sad. That is very sad. And they play on a small pitch. They have the advantage.
The worse. Oh my gosh, Colorado's worse. 16 goals in 19 games.
Well, because they signed All-Star Kevin Cabral, so obviously we knew Colorado were going to score a lot of goals. Okay,
I'm shocked.
They have Kevin Cabral, dude. Cincinnati came out and proved why they are Cincinnati.
Yeah, they were mad. They were real mad.
Oh yeah, dude. If you go and watch the highlights for this game, Lucho. Like he turned it on for this game, and he did it himself.
He turned it on in the Open Cup semi too.
That's true.
When he was on the field, he was the better Argentine. I'm not gonna lie.
You know who actually like really impressed me at Cincinnati during the final or the semifinal was Kubo, who really hasn't done much, but like he went out there and he was like, "This is my chance to prove that like I still got it and I'm still a decent player in the MLS." To the point where I was like, wow. Like,
and then they gave him a start in this game and he fell flat on his face. It's like, yep, there's the Kubo we know. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Messi wasn't on the pitch to elevate everybody, he didn't have those Messi juices. He went out and he was like, oh, everybody's watching Messi, watch me. Watch me. But Cincinnati had something to prove, proven again why they are the best team in the MLS. Getting it done. Moving on, New England, Montreal. I called it out a few weeks ago. I said, pay attention to Montreal because they are nothing to mess around with. Late in this
one, Hernan Lozada's former DC coaches are having great years. Let's call it spade a spade.
Yeah, what's Rooney waiting for, man? What's he got to do?
Well, he's not a former coach yet, so he needs to be fired and then go somewhere.
But he's a former player.
If he were fired and went to Toronto, I guarantee you Toronto makes the playoffs. Guaranteed. 100%.
100%. Turns it around.
Like, put money on it. It's going to happen.
All right. So Tata Martino or Wayne Rooney after DC exit.
Tata Martino is not a former DC coach.
No, but I'm saying Rooney exits, gets that bump for being an ex-DC coach or Tata Martino. Which one do you want?
Tata Martino with Messi. I still want the guy coaching Messi. Like,
right.
yeah,
Whatever.
I don't think Tata's ever leaving as long as Messi's there. Like, why would
No,
you?
Tata's proven he did okay for Mexico at the beginning, but
He was
I don't
very
know.
good in Mexico. I know
To,
you don't want to hear this, but he was like one of the better Mexico coaches.
oh no, yeah, at the beginning, just towards the end, like you could tell he just didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like he would just sit around, like he didn't care. Like Tata's known for being on the sideline, just like yelling, screaming, throwing a fit, getting ejected, and like towards the end of like his Mexico run, like just didn't care. He was uninterested. And it was sad to see. It was a terrible showing in the World Cup, but we're not here to talk about that, even though it is the Americas, not the States.
We have now
Yeah.
trashed both the U.S. national team and the Mexican national team in one episode.
That's what we do.
That's efficiency right there.
Dude, hey, that's what people come here for, all right? They come
true.
here for that and to talk about the tragedy organization that is the Chicago Fire.
Oh,
Because
Chicago.
the battle of the bottom of the barrel, LA Galaxy and the Chicago Fire.
Chicago's not even the bottom. They're in the playoff spot.
Yeah, but
Like, that's the sad thing.
Uri Russell played 80 minutes in this game.
They've been so hot, though.
Because Ricky Puig, Ricky Push, doing it again. I love it. He's so fun to watch, dude.
He's pretty good.
And Douglas
Costa. I had him captained in U23, so that was fun.
I'm still mad that like I tried to buy him in the dip and Pavel would just keep denying my offers, so I never got him, and then his price went up, and then I was like, I don't want one anymore, and I threw a fit, and now I don't have one, and he continues to just bang in great scores, and that's why I'm not winning anything, because I'm salty.
Pride is more important than rewards.
Pride is more important than my rewards. But yeah, Chicago Fire couldn't get it done against the Galaxy. Galaxy,
Not
like you said, they're getting hot. Do you think the Galaxy?
Jonathan Bond's back too. Good for him.
Oh, he is back. I didn't even notice that. Tyler Boyd. I love Tyler Boyd. Love me some Tyler Boyd. He never gets it done, but he gets it done when he's on my bench. You love to see it. I was like, you know what? I don't want to play Tyler Boyd anymore. And
who's
then,
that guy? Who's the guy that's like, if I don't start him, he's gonna go off, and if I do start him, he's probably gonna throw up a 15. Who's that guy?
Tyler Boyd.
Other than Tyler Boyd.
Faku for most of this year. Oh, sorry.
Wow. Dude, Faku always gets it done for me. Maybe you just don't know Orlando like I do.
You're right. You're just a bigger fan all the way in Pittsburgh. You are just the bigger fan.
Me not watching for 3 months is a bigger fan.
Yeah, as soon as you start watching, Faku all of a sudden starts playing well again. Just go back to the summer where you missed all those games, or he just was invisible for a majority of it. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Texas teams being invisible, because this Dallas and Austin game was a snooze fest, and it wasn't even until like the last possible second that Dallas got it done.
I mean, that's kind of how Dallas is.
No Jesus Ferreira, he was sick. But there's pictures of him all over the sideline, hanging out, chilling. Is Jesus Ferreira done at Dallas? And is he on his way? Is that like move like there confirmed or?
Yeah, I don't know if it was confirmed yet, but there were definitely transfer rumors, and I assume that's why he would sit out, right?
They said he was sick or something or other, or he was ill, didn't feel well. I don't know. What do I know? What do I know from FC Dallas?
All I know is,
what do you know?
You don't sit out for no reason.
You don't sit out for no reason. I'm saying it's that time of year. Is there any hope for any of these teams? Obviously, Dallas. Are they going to continue to do it? Austin, though. What does Austin have to do? What does Austin have to do?
They will need to score more points during the regular season than at least 8 other teams. Or at least 5 other teams.
Are they going to do
that's what they have to do. They have to score more points than 5 other teams.
But why?
Why?
Why are those the rules?
That would then put them in the playoffs, where they would then have a chance to beat the other teams in front of them and eventually lift a small silver cup.
Is that how that works?
That is the rules of the game.
Well, too bad because Messi's in the league, so there will be no winning for any other team except for the team in pink.
But they won't make the playoffs, so it's fine. Somebody has to win it. Why
but I
not
don't
Austin?
believe- Well, you see what happens is that when Miami doesn't make the playoffs, they're just going to loan Messi out to the next best team. So look out, Cincinnati, because he's coming.
Change the playoff format so that all pink teams automatically get a bye into the MLS Cup final. Like we're gonna play the whole playoffs, and then the winner of MLS Cup needs to play Miami to actually win the cup.
Oh, that's incredible!
On the same day they just played the final, it'll be like a back-to-back 180-minute game, but only for the one team.
I love it.
Miami will be fully rested.
And if you touch Messi, it's an automatic red card.
And if you look at Messi, you get a yellow.
You know what? Just look at your feet. Look at the ground. Don't even look up.
You will actually have to play blindfolded.
Oh, man. Listen, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does Johnny Russell have more in the tank up past this season? Because if you look at that goal that he scored in this game, dribbling through like 3 defenders, acted like it's 10 years ago. Johnny Russell. Shout out to that goal. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Sporting Kansas City. Tim Melia starting. I kind of like this team. I like their midfield.
Is Russell like actually hurt though? Because he came off.
I don't know
if he's hurt or not.
I don't know. He probably is. He gets hurt every year, basically. I feel like he misses time every year at this point.
He's already missed time twice this year, so.
But he has it in the tank, though.
He
can still get it done because he's scoring worldly goals.
I don't know. I don't really like this team that much.
Listen, they score really well for some reason. I've had Remy for a while, and then this guy, Radoja, just came back too, and he just puts up mad AA for no reason all the time. Like Sporting Kansas City midfield puts up AA like it's nothing. And it's
so many hundreds for my teams.
It doesn't make sense. It literally does not make sense that they score so well in SO5, but you look and you're just
they are such a dog shit team. Yeah.
Is this the next? Is this the next team that might have to fire their coach?
To be fair, I'm surprised he hasn't been fired already. But I mean, theoretically, they're only 3 points away from the playoffs. So if you make the playoffs, I guess all is forgiven.
I'm in my whole like tinfoil hat like era where I'm just like all these like old school MLS coaches are just gonna hit the can at some point because I feel like the game is just changing.
Who do you hire though?
Is
no one with experience?
Look, there was like so much talk before where it was like, okay, you can't bring in coaches from not the MLS because they can't like adjust or whatever. But I feel like the game is changing so much, and with everything going on in the league leading into the World Cup, it's going to get bigger. There's more money, bigger players. I feel like they're going to have to start looking out, like maybe like exporting in some coaches from like abroad to like maybe I don't know. I feel like MLS is just in such a transition point right now where the game is changing. Like even in the last like couple years, you watch games from like 3-4 years ago to now, you're like, wow, it feels like the game, like the quality is just insane, and it's only going to get better, right? Like
it is only going to get better, but I think the challenge with MLS has always been like the salary cap, right? Like no one believes a general manager when they say, I want this player, and the general manager says, no, we can't afford him. Like he does not fit in the salary cap. We cannot get this player. No one really gets that. Like no one gets how valuable domestic center backs are that are super cheap. Like no one, they don't get it. So that's why you always have traditionally needed experience in the MLS to like be somewhat successful. You know, like you've always needed to have that perspective of like that guy's really cheap, so I'm gonna play him over the expensive guy because then we can cut the expensive guy and save all the salary cap room and go and do something else with it. Like I don't know. It's just a different mindset than every other country has, and that's why it hasn't worked in the past. That being said, could you hire a specialist that like knows the cap and can kind of explain it? I mean, I feel like you should be able to, you know,
do those even exist?
I mean, I
Outside
don't
of
know.
Don Garber, like I feel like Don Garber's the only one that knows the rules, and that's it.
Me and Donnie. We have a weekly session where we go over MLS salary cap rules. It's great. Every Tuesday at 6 a.m.
And each time you're like, I've never heard of this one, but that sounds about right. That makes sense. That fits.
That definitely makes sense within this league for sure.
It's definitely one of those things where you're like working on a paper and it's like not enough words, so you just kind of start rambling and repeating the same thing over and over again, but like going nowhere. Like I feel like that's
Add
just
a
what
bunch
MLS
of
salary
ands
rules
and
are.
Ds. Don't use any contractions at all because it's two separate words instead of just the one.
Yeah,
I
basically.
cannot.
And then you make the periods like two font sizes way bigger, and it adds like at least half a page, dude. It's great.
Ooh, that's true.
Best kept secret. You always just increase the period like 1 to 2 sizes, barely noticeable, but adds like half a page every time. God, you love to see it. Love it. Love it. Love it. But listen, Chris, it's been a wild ride. The show has been an entire mess, and I apologize. All right. But there is a private league that Sorare in the States has been, will be continuing to promote because this is fun. Like, I'm not going to lie, even though it's a small little 77 person group, I find myself really excited to set my like MLS amateur team. Like, before it was like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna plug in some guys. A lot of the times it's just guys that I want to use in like 220 and MLS Pro because why not? Free common card of the GOAT Messi, LOL. Joke's on you buying a limited Messi. I use the common one. What's up? And cap 220. What's up? Come at me. But Chris, you're holding on. You went from a podium and then you slipped a little bit. What happened?
So I knew Walker Zimmerman was hurt because I replaced him in my normal lineups. But I didn't check my freaking common team. And I mean, I could have. The only other option was Michael Halliday, so I could have had like a nice little 28 pointer. But that still would have been better than nothing.
It is better than nothing.
That would have bumped me up basically just over you. I would still be like down there, just be ahead of you. I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. To be 100% honest, I know that my team is coming. We just added Christian Roldan.
Oh, okay.
Just wait till we get everybody healthy.
Okay. I have to rethink my Elliott play a little bit, but we're looking good. We had Schulte in here with
Schulte's a good call.
Bouanga, Hector Herrera, and Messi. Got a good little stack of teams.
That's a nice lineup.
Yeah, it is. I can't believe Jack Elliott let me down. It would have been a great week. Would have made up some ground. But here we are. If you see yourself on here, comment. Let us know what your strategy is. Let us know if you're having fun. Smiley up here at the top. I'm pretty sure this is week 2 of him hanging out at the top with the Aiden Morris call. Christian Ramirez, which is having a resurgence. Brooks Lennon, Drake Callender, and again, Lionel
Drake
Messi.
Callender is a great call. I'm a big Drake Callender fan.
Great call. Bandy 9994 over here
Ricky
with the
Poosh.
Poosh, Cornell, Lionel Messi, Aiden
Pooch
Morris, John Tolkien. And the last podium
I'm not sure I'm a big fan of Carlos Cornell from the last team. That's an interesting one.
Celentano, Glesnes, Driussi. Interesting call. Brooks Lennon and Yakimakis. Too much ATL for me. What are you doing? That's why you're in third. But this league has been fun.
Can we shout out? Hold on. Can we shout out Sower Hume, who put up 430 this week and just shot up the standings like a madman? Bouanga, Guzan, Pooch, Ure, and Glesnes.
Wow,
my man was going ham. Ricky Pooch on a 151. My God,
that is the all for nothing right there with the Brad Guzan call. You looked at your lineup and you said, you know what? That's a believer. If I've ever seen one.
Nashville ain't scoring. There's no way Nashville's scoring.
He knew. Hey, maybe he's a Nashville fan, just knew how down he felt. He was like, there's no way this team is coming out and doing anything.
Maybe he's an Atlanta homer that just doesn't like Almada.
Impossible.
I don't know why you would be why that would be a thing, but maybe that's what it is.
Because he's going to leave you. That's why.
He is going to leave. Just not this summer, apparently. Yeah, as far as I can tell, that was the first place from this week. So shout out to them.
Keeping us on our toes. Yeah, if Sorare would update it, because they only have game week 399 with all their fancy little little banners, and then you go to the overall, and there's no banners. So rare.
That's
Give
so
me
rare.
at so rare.
Fix your stuff.
Why doesn't it look pretty? Show it up. Also, give me the rest of the weeks. We're in game week 402 coming up. You're only showing me one. What's going on? But it's okay. We're having fun.
Can we shout out LOLO23556, who is currently the worst team and did not submit a lineup for this week?
No.
They're on 162 right now.
Lolo, what are you doing, Lolo?
Also, Bob is in third to last. Trippin' B's in fourth to last.
Oh,
come on, guys.
Trippin', what are you doing,
You guys are
brother?
supposed to know this league.
Oh, with the Carlos heel? Ooh.
Kamungo, Daniel Lovitz.
That
hasn't worked at all.
We're calling him out, Trippin'. We're calling him out. Whole gazoon tight. But, guys, this has been one hell of an episode. I am going to go continue to prepare my house for this inevitable hurricane that is barreling towards me and hope my house doesn't blow away. Chris, final words for these lovely people that are still here and have made it through this incredible episode.
Rest in peace, San Diego Loyal.